GamingBolt presents 15 most absurd and ridiculous boss battles that will make you scratch your head. Boss battles are often the highlight of a game, showcasing phenomenal design and creating a satisfying difficulty spike. But these 15 bosses range from incredibly easy to just plain bizarre. We aren't quite sure what the developers were thinking. STEROID Joker, Batman Arkham Asylum. After putting the Dark Knight through dozens of devious traps, the Joker decides the tricks won't cut it for their final confrontation. So he pumps himself full of the Venom drug and bulks up, flexing his giant muscles and swinging wildly at the Caped Crusader. The Joker is known for dastardly schemes, so why just give him some muscles and turn him into another thug? Any Dead Rising boss, Dead Rising. The bosses of Dead Rising are known as psychopaths, unhinged killers who want nothing more than to kill everyone in sight, even after the undead have swarmed the earth. They all obsess over a specific thing, like military might or ancient Japanese arts. The fights are never great, but the characters never fail to be absurdly strange and so bizarre that words sometimes don't do them justice. Joe Head Joe, SKULLMONKEYS. You can't fault 90s game developers for their creativity. So when SKULLMONKEYS needed a terrifying enemy, someone on the game came up with Joe Head Joe. His entire body is a human head, spitting fireballs and lumbering across the screen. Seeing the actual human face pixelated on the screen waddling to and fro is a sight to see, and a bit distracting as you try to take him down. Alien Queen, Duke Nukem Forever. What's the best way to take down a fearsome alien with 3 massive swinging breasts? Shoot them, of course. This is how Duke's fight against the vicious Alien Queen goes. She towers above him, raining down chaos, and he shoots her repeatedly in the boobs until she eventually falls. Seems pretty simple, right? And it is. We get that Duke is a ladies' man, but this is taking it a bit far. The Bride, Splosion Man. Miss Splosion Man goes on a fiery journey to rescue her man. She eventually comes upon the Bride, who is actually a hideous creature in disguise. Don't ask. But the game's trademark platforming gameplay is absent here, replaced by a punch-out-like boxing match. It's a strange departure for the game against a very weird enemy. John Romero, Doom 2. What's the greatest demonic threat that has ever reared its ugly head in the history of the universe? John Romero probably isn't at the top of your list. The disembodied head of the id developer is a fearsome foe, but we can't help but wonder, what does he have to do with the story of Doom? This is what went through the heads of Doom 2 players as they fired countless rounds into his beautiful mane of hair, one hand on the keyboard, one hand furiously scratching their heads. Mother, House of the Undead, Overkill. Zombies are one thing, but hulking, deformed monstrosities are another entirely. The design may be the most peculiar thing. A large stinger protrudes from between her legs, unraveling and attacking the player. It's a pretty blasé boss fight, everything considered. Photoshop Flowy, Undertale. The combat in Undertale never misses an opportunity to shake things up. It starts as a bullet hell style game set inside a small white square and evolves into a rhythm game and quiz show. But the screen-filling appendages of Flowy turns things up to 11. Projectiles fly from every corner of the screen, and every time you die, the game just crashes, booting you back to the desktop. Actually taking him down takes some time and clever thinking. Negativitron, Little Big Planet 2. Little Big Planet 2 created a new and bizarre world that fleshed out the cute and cuddly nature of its sponge block-filled world. The Negativitron served as the big bad for this creative sequel, but the final confrontation with the Harbinger of Bad was a bit strange. The fight is a mishmash of different mechanics, ranging from rolling up the walls to strike a weak spot to leaping between bouncy pads to avoid the insta-death floor. It's not good, it's not bad, it's just bizarre. Immoral Beast, Catherine. How do we describe this particular boss while keeping it PG? It's the behind of a body with a face on the cheeks and a tongue sprouting out of the, crevice. It clambers up the nightmarish tower of blocks, inching ever closer to Vincent. This boss is pure shock factor, showing that nothing is off limits for this inventive title. Titanic Toddler Zombies Ate My Neighbors. For a game called Zombies Ate My Neighbors, there are some enemies much stranger than zombies. The Titanic Toddler stomps through the level, wildly waving its pudgy arms and spraying milk all over the lawns with its oversized bottle. Despite all this, it really isn't that tough of a boss. It's just a really weird one. Quiet, Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain. Quiet made headlines based on her strange appearance and backstory. After wandering into the area scattered with decaying ruins, you see a glint of glass. The sniper then begins raining down fire, but she's only a tough enemy because she can camouflage herself. So you need to be quick as she moves from vantage point to vantage point, bringing her down and bringing her in. The reason why this boss fight is ridiculous is first, Quiet's absurd dressing. She's almost wearing nothing. Second, she regains her health through water, which is just an excuse to seduce the player. This boss battle was just another reminder why Metal Gear Solid 5 had the most disappointing cast of enemy characters. The Slot Machine, STARFOX. Thought a giant floating monkey head in space was weird? You haven't seen anything yet. In the Out of This Dimension course, the final boss is a floating slot machine. It hovers in the middle of the screen, attacking you if you get the wrong spin. The only way to destroy this devious gambling boss is to roll all sevens. A strange end to a classic. Mega Smith, The Matrix Path of Neo. Agent Smith is a constant thorn in Neo's side, and in The Matrix Path of Neo, he serves as the final obstacle before the credits roll. And just like you'd expect, this fight is a full-out brawl in The Matrix, replete with fancy graphics, mid-air punching, and explosions. But there are so many cutscenes stitching the whole thing together that it feels more like watching the movie than beating a terrifying final boss. Bob the Killer Goldfish, Earthworm Jim series. No matter how much pomp and circumstance is presented before a fight with Bob the Killer Goldfish, it always ends the same way. You never really fight Bob, you just push his bowl off the table or grab him out of his bowl. No matter where he shows up, he's always one of the easiest fights in any Earthworm Jim game. And that wraps it up. What are your thoughts about this? Let us know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, please like and share it on Twitter and Facebook. And why not consider subscribing? We upload some really cool videos almost every day. Thank you for watching this video, and happy gaming!